welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Hanadi and I am an intern doctor living here in the UAE. That is the first time that I have introduced myself that way on my channel. I am so excited to have you here. It has been a while since we have sat down and talked about something that I think is important. The new academic year has started just over a month ago, and I think that it is the perfect time to discuss this topic, whether you have just started or whether you are going into a new year or a new phase. I do think that what I'm about to say is an important reminder. So as you can tell by the title of this video, we are going to be talking about the things that you should know before starting medical school. I would just like to state before we complete is that the main purpose of this video is not to sugarcoat the struggles of medical school. If you know me, you know that I am very honest if you have been following me on TikTok, but I also like to remove any unnecessary negative energy or anxiety surrounding medical school because it is already such a stressful and overwhelming environment. I want to provide reassurance and try to cut out as much negativity as we can. One big thing I have noticed going into medical school, we already know that from the moment we state that we are going to be applying to medical school, you are going to have people reminding you and telling you of how stressful it is and how much workload there is to be done. And while they are not wrong, I also think that sometimes this message could be received in a negative and overwhelming way to someone who is already stressed out. I have particularly noticed unnecessary drama, specifically in medical school, within medical students, whether it is from people in the same batch or from seniors talking down to juniors, which I have no idea why it still happens. Now, some people might want to intentionally stress you out just because they think that it is a competitive environment, and while they can bring you down as much as possible, it means that they are going to be way ahead of you. Or some people might just do it unintentionally because they are already stressed out, so they tend to stress out the people surrounding them. Regardless of what situation you're in, my number one tip would be to cut out the outside noise. My grades and my mental health got so much better when I did that. I purposely distanced myself from large groups of people who would just kind of stress themselves out and stress the whole batch out. And I also stopped asking people about their plans or their study schedule. It's totally fine to ask people you trust or to ask people if you want to take inspiration. However, if you feel like you are the type of person that these things tend to get to you, just stay focused on you and your study plan. Do not compare your study plan to someone else's, because that doesn't necessarily mean that what they're doing might work for you. Which takes me right into the second point of there is no right or wrong way to study. The techniques that might be working for others don't necessarily mean that it might work for you. And I will give you guys an example on this with me personally. So I'm pretty sure that you have heard of Anki if you are a medical student, and while it is a great method of studying, it just simply did not work for me. I am a huge note taker and I have been note taking ever since high school, and it's something that really helps me study. And a lot of people would talk negatively on note taking to the point where there got a phase where I completely stopped it and then started looking into Anki. The method that worked for me was note taking and to stick to my notes. And while I do encourage you trying other methods of studying, especially when you start out and you still don't know what works for you, because this is something that takes trial and error for you to realize what you are comfortable with and what brings you results. But if you do already know that, there is no point in changing your study technique just because of outside pressure. Let me know if you guys want a video on how I studied during medical school. Although a lot of people would negatively talk about note taking, I did it and ended up graduating with excellence. My third point is something that I am very passionate about and I keep repeating a lot if you follow me on my other social media platforms, would be to not let yourself go in medical school. And the reason why I think this is very important, because there is such a negative idea around the fact that medical students do not have enough time to pursue their hobbies or to even find new ones, and I just think that this is so false. not only is it great for your mental well-being, but this is also going to help you switch off or relax. That is going to help you bounce back. Not only have I continued doing the things I liked that I was doing before medical school, but I also picked up new hobbies as well. Now, the reason why would this help me is because, for example, I would book a session of something that I really wanted to do when I knew I had a long, stressful day. So this would help me look forward to the end of the day and push through a stressful day or a stressful week. If you don't want to do these things alone, it brings me to my next point of to surround yourself with like-minded people, and you can even try and go together. Surround yourself with people who want you to grow and who motivate you to grow. You can even find people who enjoy the same type of hobby as you do, or people who are open to trying new things, and that way you can also go together and keep each other accountable and motivated. Not necessarily stay friends with the same people that you meet at the start of medical school, and that is totally okay. We're all growing, and it is important to discover what kind of qualities you would want in people who are present in your closer circle. I would like to end off this video by saying that it will pass. During medical school, you will have moments where they are so overwhelming and you will think that you are never going to make it to the other end, but I am here to promise you that everything will pass. I also want to say that it is never as scary as it is inside your head. There were so many times where certain exams were just scaring me to the point where, you know, I'm sure we've all experienced the physical anxiety symptoms, cannot go to bed, especially when it came to the last ever medical school exams. But I promise you guys, it is not as serious or not as scary as you build it up inside of your head. Bumps in the road can happen, and of course it is not a linear path. Not everyone is going to have the same journey, but I promise you guys that the destination is going to be the same. You are going to graduate and you are going to become a doctor regardless of what happens in those couple of years. And that is all I wanted to say for today's video. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it, and of course I'm always open to hearing what you guys have to say, whether you just started medical school or you are at the end of it. Let me know in the comments what would you like to add. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what other videos would you like to see from me next, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a wonderful day.